Good evening. Tonight is February 11th. It is 6:30. It is the Board of Selectmen meeting, and I'm calling the meeting to order. Please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. All right. Okay. So we have the meetings from the January 28th meeting for review.
Motion to approve.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? No discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Abstain.
And four ayes, one abstained. All right. Community announcements.
Don't forget to get your 2025 dog licenses. Late fees begin March 1st. Please return your town census as well. Nomination papers are available at the town clerk's office. Seats listed on the website. Excise taxes are going out on February 10th and are due back on March 12th. The town hall will be closed on Monday, February 17th in observance of President's Day. Special town meeting is Tuesday, February 18th, and that's at 7 p.m. in Charlton Middle School. That's it.
Thank you. Is there anybody here for open forum? Chief Barton.
Let's go, Chief.
Hi,
Hello.
everyone. Good evening. So I wanted to come in and let you guys know about a new technology that the department has researched and have signed a contract with this company. I handed it out to you guys. It's called, through Safety Cloud, it's called Haas Alert. So we go up to the Massachusetts Turnpike for incidences of about 250, 300 times a year. And when we're up there, we have vehicles that are traveling at a high rate of speed past us despite the laws that say, the move over laws, slow down laws. So firefighter safety is an utmost importance of mine. And there's this technology that's out there that when our emergency lights are activated, it sends out a signal, an automatic signal through a transponder. And motorists that are using a Waze app or some other navigation app or some newer model vehicles, they'll get a notification automatically into their cars that there's an emergency vehicle operating up ahead. So it gives them a little bit more heads up and allows them to start to slow down in understanding that there are emergency vehicles operating. So we looked at the incidences up on Route 20, Route 169, on the Massachusetts Turnpike, and I felt that it was absolutely imperative that we put some sort of technology. There's only so much that traffic cones can do and stuff. We do send our apparatus up there to provide blocking, but this small investment to try to deter one of our vehicles from getting struck, or worse yet, one of our first responders from getting struck, was sort of the deciding factor. So we went and purchased 5 transponders. They're going to go in all 3 of our ambulances in our 2 primary engines that go up on the Massachusetts Turnpike, or really any incident that it can be used at, Route 20, 169. Whenever the lights are on, the transponder starts to working automatically. So that's the hope, is that anything that we can do to kind of deter any of our vehicles from suffering some damage, or any of our personnel.
What's the delta from what you purchased to doing all the vehicles?
So we did get a quote for that, right? So I'd have to, it's $600 a vehicle, and I think when I did the numbers real quick, it was like $16,000 annually in order to do all the vehicles. So initially we were, I looked at it and I said, I don't believe I need to do all of the vehicles. I need to do the vehicles that are most likely going to be up on the highway. It's going to be almost impossible for like my car to be up on the highway without an engine or an ambulance there. Like I would be there as a support vehicle. As long as one vehicle is present, they'll be able to transmit this signal out to people commuting on those highways. So more likely to be used up on the highway than it is around town, just because people usually don't use their GPS to get around town versus the commuters, on the interstate, or when the Mass Pike gets backed up, people get off the highway and then they end up on Route 20 and they're still using their Waze app. So there was a I'll say a substantial cost to do all vehicles, and I just don't think that there's a necessity at this point. The Haas Alert will be able to give us data on how many vehicles are actually, or how many apps are actually receiving it. So we'll look at it, and if it seems to be viable, then we'll continue it. And if we see that we have a need for other vehicles, like maybe the rescue needs one, maybe my car, the deputy's car, whatever, then we can always add additional ones.
But,
So it would just appear on the Waze, Apple Maps, whatever, like any other hazard, right?
Yeah, so if you see on the second page of the press release, that's exactly what it will show on the car display, and then on your app, if your Waze app, it does the same thing, it's just in a smaller square box, so it'll just say emergency vehicles up ahead. On the vehicles that will get it automatically, it silences your radio for a brief second, it gives an audible tone, so it kind of alerts the driver that they gotta look at their screen, and it just sits there for a couple seconds and then it goes away.
So, and the nice thing about Waze, right, even if you're not using it, I don't know about Apple Maps or Google, but even if you have Waze just off to the side, like you had opened it, but you closed it, it's never really closed, and you may have something else going on that, like car play screen. It will still send you those alerts, even if that screen's not showing, which is nice.
Correct.
Do you know how long has this service been around?
So Haas has been around for about 8 years, I believe. And I heard about it about a year and a half ago at a convention. So as soon as I took over at in the position, this is one of those items that I knew was on my priority list. And there's the best sort of part about it is we get reimbursed money for providing services up on the Massachusetts Turnpike, and that's how it's being paid for, is by us going up there. We're just going to use that money that we receive from them to offset the cost of this.
So,
And-
8
and-
years,
and-
8 years late, but 8 years late, better than never.
Well done.
But, and you said early on that you have 250 calls on the Mass Turnpike
Oh,
per
that's
year?
probably a low. That's probably a low number. We go up on the Massachusetts Turnpike, a crazy amount of time. Yeah.
250 per year, that's
I
an
spoke to
incredible amount. I think that's something people in town really need to understand.
Yeah, I spoke to Chief Coleman about this, and he says that he goes, the town of Auburn goes up there about 400 times a year. They have a little bit bigger of a stretch than we do, but, yeah, it's a number. And we've been very fortunate that we haven't had any incidences of accidents. We've had a couple close calls up on the Mass Pike, but we haven't had any incidences. And about 9 years ago, our Chief Cloutier at the time, his vehicle was struck on Route 20 at a motor vehicle accident. He was there providing aid, and his vehicle was struck. So we're hoping to deter that. So.
I'm thankful. I think you're doing a
Remember
great
that.
job with this.
Yeah,
This
Pete,
is great.
Pete, through you. Oh, sorry, Chief, first of all, this is fantastic. I love when people are proactive in these circumstances. Is this for fire only, or is it for all emergency?
No, it's actually for all emergency vehicles can get the
Right.
service.
I was hoping you were saying.
And then
We put one in Dan's car?
That's where I'm going next, man.
so some of the idea behind it is if in Route 20, if we're there, we'll be providing the alerting
Yep.
for and protecting the police officers, same as state police. And then our vehicles, there is a department policy that our vehicles are required to stay as a block until all the vehicles are moved from the roadway, and the roadway can be opened up. So we'll never leave an incident and sort of leave the police waiting for the tow truck to arrive and move the vehicle. So we stay on scene, and now as a block, but also now we can be providing that alert system as well.
Yeah, so to the rest of the board and Andrew, I for one would not be opposed to expanding out this type of pilot program a little bit for relatively short money for safety considerations, for anything that Rob might think he could use additionally. Again, relatively short money. This is, I'm not diminishing taxpayer money, but this is a rounding error in a $40 million budget.
All right.
And I'd love to be able to, again, for the board to consider along with FinCom as we go in the budget to see what we could do with Chief Dowd, maybe have something going on there as well. Again, just as a pilot to see how it's working, and then we can always expand later. But no, Chief, this is great. Well
It'd be
done.
cool if we can get that wrapped up while you're still here. Your swan song.
82 days or whatever.
No, but there's also, so I remember like 5 or 6 years ago, hearing a conversation where anytime a town fire truck goes onto the Mass Pike, we get $400 an hour.
Yeah, I
Well-
don't know what the total amount is that we get reimbursed. We are gonna be in contract negotiations with Mass Highway to discuss those fees. There was an attempt to stop the fees, and our representatives.
There was an attempt from Mass Highway to stop the fees?
Representatives stepped in and took care of that, so we are gonna be renegotiating, but I don't know exactly what the cost is, but I know that we taken enough money for our runs up on the Mass Pike to, at the very least, pay for this, and because we were able to receive a DFS grant, usually the money that we receive helps pay for traffic cones and oil absorbent and stuff like that for incidences that we go up there. But we did receive a DFS grant of almost $13,000 that is gonna allow us to purchase all the traffic cones and other accoutrements for traffic safety.
And just for clarity, it wasn't just Charlton that has to renegotiate. It had to do with the Turnpike and the DOT when they
Yeah.
changed names. So just for everybody's knowledge, it wasn't isolated to Charlton. It's
Oh, no,
statewide,
no,
east to
no,
west.
not at all, but,
Yeah.
but it's important.
They put it
though.
back in place, so we're good.
Well, like I said, Chief, well done.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Anybody else here for open forum? Hearing none, seeing none. Moving on to appointments and resignations.
All right, first we have an appointment to the Old Home Day Committee. Attaches a talent bank form from Robert Coleman seeking to be appointed to the Old Home Day Committee. The Old Home Day Committee is recommending the appointment, and I'd recommend the board make the appointment with a term expiration of June 30th, 2025.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
None.
Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
And next we have a resignation of the activities assistant for the Council on Aging. Received notification from Human Resources that Kathy Gallant has resigned her position as activities assistant for the Council on Aging effective June 30th, 2025. The board should accept her resignation and a letter thanking her for her services in the town, is in your sign folder.
So moved with regrets.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? No. Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
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 Unanimous. All right. We're at 1842.
Street address, Mr. Chairman?
I want to hold for Kurt. He's
Oh,
gonna
that's
be
good.
coming in for that, yeah.
Town administrator report, Mr. Chairman?
I could do the special alcoholic beverage
Yep.
license.
Oh, yeah, that'd be easy.
All right, we have a request for a special alcoholic beverage license for the Charlton Fire Department dinner. Attaches an application submitted by Daniel Drager for a special alcoholic beverage license, all alcohol, to be used on February 28th, 2025, from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. at the Overlook Great Room for the Charlton Fire Department dinner. The application has been reviewed and approved by the police chief, building commissioner, and fire department. Per the board's policy, if the special alcoholic beverage license is approved, the dates on the license should be for the day before the event to allow the alcohol to be delivered, the day of the event, and the day after the event to allow any alcohol left over to be picked up.
Mr. Chairman, I move to approve the special alcohol beverage license. All alcohol is submitted by Daniel Doger to be used on February 28th, 2025 for the fire department dinner, with the date on the licenses to be February 27th through February 29th, 2025 respectively.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Any discussion? Nope. Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I didn't know that this was a leap month.
All right, I got 1845.
Close enough. All right, your 6:45 p.m. appointment with the Raise Foundation. The Raise Foundation Residential Assistance for Seniors has asked for time on the agenda to provide an update and presentation on what they do, awards, and grants available to Charlton seniors. So, Sabrina.
Hey, folks, while we call up your very, very nice presentation, by the way.
Oh, thank you very much. Thank you. Come on in.
Yeah, if you want, just let me know when you want to go to the next slide.
Oh, I will. No, thank you. This is perfect. So just want to thank you all for having us today. This is a wonderful opportunity
for us to share what we've been up to and what we need, and to also let the community know that we're still here and still active. So for those that do not know who we are, although I know many in the community are familiar with us, they have either purchased a lottery calendar from us at Ted's at some point, or enjoyed the taste of the towns, donated a silent auction basket, or businesses have chosen to sponsor us, and it's been incredible. The community support over the years has been absolutely incredible. And so we want to, like I had mentioned before, go into where we've been and where we are now. And we have pretty much a specific call to action for our community to see if we can get others to join us. So my name is Sabrina Webb. I'm a board member, and then here is Deborah Cheslick and Edward Cheslick, and they are also longstanding board members with the Raise Foundation. So you can certainly go to the next slide. There's some great pictures of us there. So who is the Raise Foundation and what do we do? So Raise stands for Residential Energy Assistance for Seniors, and really it's built upon the belief that, you know, our communities are built strong by the people who have come before us. And so as we all sit here and be able to live this beautiful life in Charlton, Massachusetts, it's really our responsibility and our honor to support those that have paved the way. It really isn't just about the buildings, it's not about the statues here in our community, but the people who were here before us. And so these people have been community leaders, they have been veterans, they have been school teachers, you know, so many different things, and now it's our turn to take care of them. So what we do, if you want to go to the next slide, is we serve exclusively to the town of Charlton, and it is senior citizens in the town of Charlton, and we assist them with their heating and their cooling expenses that they have in each season. So senior citizen here would be 60 years or older, and we'll go into what our grants look like, but they must meet certain income requirements. So we offer cooling energy grants, and our cooling season spans from May to August. We have the qualifying grant amounts right now are $250, $200, and $150 for support. Also for the heating energy assistance, it goes through October through March, and those qualifying grant amounts are $500, $400, and $300. I have to say, historically, we are more so on those higher sides. I can't remember the last time we've really done a grant for 150 or 300.
Yeah, usually we're at 150, we haven't run into that too much. It averages
Yeah.
between 2 and 250.
Yeah, absolutely. The need is certainly there, and so there is a process. There is a process where community members that meet these qualifications can apply. They might not know if they meet every qualification, but the application is available on our website, and it is also available like downstairs at the Charlton Senior Center and other resources where, you know, we feel that our information should be. They go ahead and they fill out an application. It comes directly to us. We have a subcommittee called an awards committee, and that is consisted of only 2 to 3 people who make the determination of whether or not we can qualify somebody for an award. The biggest thing to note here is that it is completely anonymous. As you can imagine, there's a lot of pride and vulnerability that can come along with this. You know, if I can't pay my heating bill, or I'm cold and I'm in a situation that I don't want to be in, but I am asking for help is I think hard, especially in certain generations. But there is, it's important that we note that there are, not even the board members get to know who these people are. It is strictly who works specifically with the applications, and it is kept anonymous. And we want to make sure that that's said, so we do get people to apply. We make it easy there. So we have been around since 2009.
Yep, August 2009.
Yeah, and over that span of time, we have 609 applications and have granted over $200,000 to the senior citizens.
And that's for Charlton only.
Charlton residents 60 and over. Yep.
Yep.
That's
And that is
That's
because,
fantastic.
yeah, it's a
That's-
great number. It was wonderful. You know, when you're in it, and you see these, $500 amounts, over and over, it's, you don't expect to see that number. I know when I had Deb do the research for me, and I was like, wow, okay, yes. And so, but that is, really, it's because I serve on a lot of different nonprofit organizations, but there's something about the Raise Foundation where the community is so incredibly supportive of this cause and our mission. And I think it's because we all can relate. We all either have someone in our family who is elderly, or we're, getting there ourselves, or, it's hard right now. It's just incredibly hard, and I think that we're all feeling it. And so, that number makes me incredibly proud to be part of this. And there's no way that we could do it or continue to do it without the support of our community and the support of the businesses that are in this community, because it's been tremendous, the effort there. We'll go to the next slide. So it's not just energy assistance that really we are providing. So as our bodies age, we don't do well with temperature fluctuations, and that can create a health crisis in someone who has a pre-existing condition, or might not know. And there are, I'm sure senior citizens in this town who keep their thermostats down to 50 degrees, and it's just simply not healthy. And the same in the summer, right? So to be at a high level, a high temperature level, is really tough for their bodies to regulate. And so it's more than just actual financial assistance. It's really overall health and well-being of some really important members of our community. You can go to the next slide. So how did we do this? And how are we still doing it, right? So lottery calendars were a huge fundraiser. We would really, it was all hands on deck. We would stay outside in the cold, and we would sell these lottery calendars, and that was probably, I would say, our second largest fundraiser.
Yes.
But the one that is most known is our annual Taste of the Towns, which ran every year from our inception until 2 weeks before the world shut down in 2020. And we were so incredibly grateful that we were able to sneak that event in. And because that is our signature event, it brings the community together, it brings the businesses together, it is a bulk of our fundraising. And so we were able to provide for our senior citizens when they really needed us the most during that year when everything shut down. Since then, we haven't been able to, during the pandemic, we weren't able to host a Taste of the Towns. I do want to, really express my gratitude on behalf of our organization that, ARPA funds that were voted on and given to the Raise Foundation allow us to still have grants going out today. Just last week, we're mailing grants out to the people of Charlton here. And so that, I know that there was a committee in place that determined where those funds would land, and I'm just very grateful to those that voted to have any extra or any room come straight to the Raise so we could continue this important mission. And then, we also did an annual appeal each year, reaching out to the community, sharing with them who we are, what we do, and what we want to continue to do. And it was very well received. We had many people just send in checks and straight donations, including some of the businesses as well. I can go to the next slide. We have some tremendous community partners, and this is an example of the Charlton Police Department, who did a no shave December in our honor, and the proceeds from this small fundraiser went to the Raise Foundation. But this isn't just a fundraiser; it's also raising awareness of who we are and that we are available. So when we have our community partners like the Charlton Police Department, the Charlton Elementary School was another one with their 100th day, Pennies for their 100th day. They raised quite a bit in and we were, again, the recipient of that. It raises awareness of who we are, what we do, and that we have resources available. And then we did have some spirit wear that went out, Charlton Strong, that helped us along during the pandemic times. And community events, you probably have seen us at Old Home Day, selling lottery calendars, lemonade, Blueberry Festival. It's wonderful that we have these events here in Charlton, that organizations like ourselves, our nonprofits, that are welcomed there, so we can talk to the town and again get that message out. Go to the next slide. It'll give you a nice a recap of our strong taste of the towns that we want to bring back. It's been too long, and we want to bring this back. And which leads me to the next slide, is that we have a strong need right now. We know we have rising energy costs. We know we have, a high rising cost of living. We know that our baby boomer population is just increasing the amount who have a need. But we have a volunteer shortage, and we've struggled with that over the last few years. And we've had some, impeccable people that have served on this board. I can't speak enough about them, but as life goes on and there are certain transitions, sometimes things change. The pandemic changed quite a bit of it as well. And so we've really struggled with recruitment and keeping people on board. So we are really strongly looking for, which leads us to my call to action on the next slide, is people. We have 6 members now. About 3 to 4 of them are pretty active. And we really need, if you want to go to the next slide, sorry. We really need to grow to 12 active members. In our most successful years, this is when we had the most success. It's really the manpower in order to do a big event like the Taste of the Towns, which I know we can do. We did it like the back of our hand. It's a well-oiled machine. It's just we need people. And we have some new people in town, and so we need that manpower. We're looking for 12 active members in a town that has a population of over 13,000. There's got to be at least 12 people out there. And it can go beyond there that are dedicated and that want to join us on this mission. I can say in the past we want to look for to diversify this board in a way that it consists of community members, it consists of residents, it consists of business professionals, business owners. We want to expand our reach. So, those are the people who we are looking for. When we look towards our most successful years, we had representatives from the Charlton Police Department on board. We had people from the banks on board. We had small business owners on our board. And much, much more. And when you have people from all walks of the town, it really expands your reach, and it allows us to do some really phenomenal things. I would love to, going back to, first responders, when they when they go on a call, what do they see sometimes when they're making a call to a senior citizen's home? It's very beneficial for them to be involved with us because they could see and identify a need right there in that moment. And although it really is up to that person that is there to, take the step and apply, it's, knowing that they have the resource and a tool right there in their back pocket is huge, and that can really help us help more people. We'd like to increase the amount of grants we're given. We've been at this amount for quite a bit, for a long time, and these costs are just going up, and so we certainly want to increase the amounts, but we need people. So, if anyone is watching at home or hears us, and wants to be involved, we hope that we leave people inspired today. We hope that maybe if it's not you, maybe you've got somebody that you're visualizing in your head that would be like, hey, that person would be perfect. We would like to talk to that person. And, you know, have a nice conversation. It's a great group. It's an exciting, great group to be a part of. And we can certainly make a difference the more people that we have. Anything?
So, I do have a question. So if you gave out $212,000 to Charlton residents, where does that leave your balance?
Right now,
Yes.
yeah, I mean, well, we are a nonprofit organization and our balances are, you know, kept to us, but I can tell you that, you know, we don't publicize the balances that we have right now, but we do know that if we don't have people who wanna join us, we already have had to put a cap on grants, and we know that we probably have enough to get through maybe one more season.
That's the answer I was looking for. Thank you. Sabrina, you do a fantastic.
Doesn't she?
Doesn't she? Jeez. And I can't imagine why the American Heart Association didn't hire you.
Thank you.
Sabrina, I would love to know, you were talking a lot about, your volunteers being adults, older.
Yeah.
Is there any room for people my age? I'm 17.
There's room for anybody, yes, anybody, absolutely.
Because I will so bring this to my National Honor Society.
I would love it, I would love if you did that, yeah, absolutely. You can reach out to us, multiple
Yeah,
ways.
I have your contact on
You
here.
have it on here?
Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah, so please, you know, reach out to me. And also, you know, there are a few different options. We have discussed in the past, we certainly need a board. We need that board to grow. But if we get to a point where we have a great foundation on a board, we can have a Taste of the Town committee where, you know, maybe I don't wanna commit to a board and a monthly board meeting, but I want to be part of the Taste of the Towns and I wanna be part of that planning. You know, that's something that we can always look at too.
That's awesome.
No, thank you. Thank you.
I think a lot of us understand that, yeah,
Yes.
yes.
I have just a few things I'm
Then-
just gonna talk, go ahead.
No, I think it's time, yeah, no,
No, this
what
is
a
awesome,
fantastic presentation. It's time for people to step up and,
A couple of things that you can just throw in there. Great job, by the way.
Thanks, Deb. Deb's always been a
Base job. The amounts, the grants, based, the amount of money we go through the federal poverty guidelines. Of course, there are different levels of federal poverty guidelines based on what it's for. So we go by the heating federal poverty guidelines, like WCAC, which is for heating. So that's what we go by, and it changes every year. It starts March 1st till the end of February of the following year. With the heating and the cooling, the thing with heating is it's not just oil. It's any source, whatever that is. It could be wood, it could be coal, it can be whatever that is. The vendor gets the award, the grant, the people that do, they get a letter. They both get the recipient gets a letter, and then the vendor gets the check, and so anything is possible. It's not just oil, gas, and propane. With the cooling season, we have air conditioning and electric. Now, we sometimes run into, let's say that someone got $250. So they wanted to get an air conditioner. So they got the air conditioner for $200. So they got the $50 left. What that does is we take the $50 and we pay towards their electric bill. So sometimes they get a two price for one. So just wanted to throw that in there.
But just so, and I really need to understand this a little better. So
Sure.
this is an ongoing?
Yes, one thing.
It's not just ARPA money we're talking about, that, how we funded it for the last 2 years. There's still a ongoing grant.
There are still
that-
people that are supporting us.
Yes.
Absolutely.
That, and it is an ongoing grant that funds RIAS.
Well, no, we don't, no, we are, the community and the outreach that we are doing is what funds it. The
Okay.
ARPA money was,
See, that's-
was really what kept us alive, you know,
Yeah.
during those days, you know, coming out of the pandemic. And, you know, what's also special about this too is that we don't, if our applicants get any other types of benefits for heating or energy assistance in general, we don't take that into consideration. So, you know, we still give the funds out. If they've gotten a grant from, you know,
Yeah,
the
again,
WCAC, we
right, yes,
still-
yes, it's not you can't if you get this. So you
Right.
can have, right, WCAC and you can also get
And we
this.
also
It's
let
not
them know
one
about
or-
those, you
Yeah.
know, so they
Some
can
people
get
think
more.
that and they don't realize it, so that they can.
Right, for sure. And I can say, we don't have many denials.
No,
Really
no,
don't?
actually, I probably, oh yeah, there's probably been, since 2009, there's been 7 denials due to over income, or it could be over assets, because it is based on income and assets. And there's the guidelines, like I said, the federal poverty guidelines.
Any questions?
No, this is great, very well done.
Thank you very much
No,
for this
great.
time.
Hopefully this gets some additional interest in volunteers.
Me too.
Thank
It
you.
has nothing to do from my.
Thank you very much.
We really appreciate you giving us
Join
this
us.
time.
There's 6 of us. There's really 4 of us. to be
Thank you
honest
so
with
much.
I'm retiring.
Oh, gonna go after you. Thank you again.
Thank you.
Thanks so much for coming in, stay warm.
All right, we don't have any old business on the agenda, so moving on to Board of Selectmen, policy review.
Right, so before you is proposed street address numbering policy. Building Commissioner Meskis has been working with the department heads to draft a formal house numbering policy as adopted by the special town meeting in back in the fall. The draft of the policy is being provided to you for review tonight. We'll be asking for the board to potentially take action to approve the policy at your meeting on February 25th. Commissioner Meskis is here tonight to go over the policy and answer any questions that you guys might have.
Evening. Nice to see the whole board and 2 student select persons.
Making me feel special.
Yeah, see? I'm just checking, I said select persons, but we haven't changed the signs yet, so
We're getting there.
I'm being proactive. So the town of Charlton has had the number of homes for years and years and years. I've been in the town long enough to remember when we didn't number homes, and my first fire was to a fire at AJ's place, and it's like, thank you very much, how about a quarter of the town I might get there. But when 911 came to the town of Charlton, we had to enact a numbering policy, and the highway department went around with the wheel and the pickup truck and marched off every 100-foot intervals, and we've been working with that informal policy ever since that was in like 1987, 1990. I did ask the board to, at town meeting, to amend the bylaw for numbering, as 911 has become very complex, and numbering houses and the types of houses and things that we have is becoming more complex, and having the institutional knowledge in my head, I want to leave that for someone. You know what I mean? We've run into some interesting situations. We all know of something that's misnumbered. We had a change in the highway superintendent, and he says, sure, if you want to take over, Kurt, I'd be happy to give up my part of the process. But part of this process also includes the assessor's requirement to report to 911 every year all the proper addresses, and that came to light when the police department couldn't get a grant one year because we hadn't complied with that requirement. So, not doing anything different. We're not proposing to change anybody's street name at this time. We're not proposing to run around the town and change people's house numbers. We know that causes problems. I've had to do that before. But really, this is just a front-to-back approach of how numbers are assigned, which side of the street they're on, some road naming issues that we've come up against, so that in the planning process, we have something to go by to say, you know, if you don't know, we have 5 shore drives in Charlton. You know, well, one of them's Offshore Drive, one's Glen Echo Shore Drive, but, so, and sound-alike names cause problems. So, I worked with the assessing department, I worked with Captain Carlson on the fire department. As the administrator said, this went out to all the department heads for their input. There have been some comments on it. We're waiting to see what your comments on it is, and I really don't want to go and read the policy to you. That's why I suggested, and anything that I usually do with you folks is here, let me present it to you Let me give you time to digest it. I'll come back in 2 weeks and see if there's any changes we need to make, or if you have any changes you want to recommend between now and then. Certainly funnel them through Mr. Golis's office, and we can make those changes.
Just editorial.
Okay.
We'll fix that later.
Just noted, 4.4, I was referencing a diagram below, but there was no diagram.
Oh,
I just want you to know that I actually read it, Kurt.
okay.
But, Mr. Chairman, just through you, yeah, Kurt, I think you and the team did a real nice job on this. I mean, it seems, these things are self-evident, but it's good that they're spelled out. And I think that type of consistency across the board, especially within the planning department, the highway department, et cetera, I think will be healthy. And again, I think it'll put us in a much better position for our, what I expect to be large growth over the next 5 to 10 years by having something actually written down, I think is good. So I actually didn't have, I mean, outside of that minor editorial.
Thank you very much,
thing.
because.
No, honestly, I think it's good.
You're doing these things and you work on them so much and you go, oh, yeah, I'll do that.
Yeah, no, this is, no, honestly, I
that's-
thought you did, I thought you and the team did a real nice job on this. I really, there wasn't a single, outside of that silly formatting thing, just because I'm a geek. I wouldn't recommend a change myself. I think this is perfect, well done. I mean, obviously, my colleagues might have differences, but, I mean.
Thank you. Enjoy the rest of your evening.
See you, Kurt. Thank you.
Thanks,
See you in a
Kurt.
couple weeks.
Stay warm.
All right, moving on to the student select person report, we'll start with Rosalie.
Okay, so as for athletics, this Saturday, 2:15, Shepherd Hill is hosting round 1 of the boys basketball Clark tournament. The Rams will play game 1 at 11 a.m., and the last game will be played at 5 p.m., so good luck to all teams. Spring sports registration is now open for 2025. This registration will end on 3/10, and spring tryouts and practices will start a week later on 3/17. If you are interested in attending any sporting events, please check out the Shepherd Hill Rams website for any more information on the game schedule. As for the arts, the music students have begun selling prize calendars for the month of March as a fundraiser. On each day in March, a participant's name will be drawn, and they will receive a prize from gift cards to musical experiences associated with the day. Each calendar will be sold for $10 to aid in their musical endeavors. Shepherd Hill's award-winning show choirs, Fantasy and Illusion, are proud to have performed at 2 competitions this season so far. Their next performance is in Virginia, and we can't wait to see what they have in store for us. And the drama department is in production of their spring play. More information to come. As for school-wide, students attending the foreign language trip just finished selling and making Super Bowl grinders this past weekend, so great job fundraising to those students. And the NHS is finalizing their winter service project, A Kids Night Out, for younger students in the school district. More information to come. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Rosalie.
All right,
Very nice.
moving on to Emma.
Alright, so as for Bay Path, starting in our shops in trade areas, our maintenance team, as well as shops like carpentry and electrical, are hard at work to accompany the move of our ISSN shop to make more space for an upcoming shop, which is Diesel Technology. We appreciate all that is being done to make this process as smooth as possible, and we look forward to the advancements this shop will bring to our school. And also, our freshman students have now been placed in their permanent shops, and we wish our students success in their chosen areas.
That's awesome.
For our sports, we have been celebrating our class of 2025 seniors during our senior nights across all winter sports, and we thank them for the hard work and time they have dedicated to our athletic teams over the years and the impact they have made. We continue to support them on their journey after high school and wish them well. For our student council and steering committee, our members are now selling Valentine's Day candygrams available to our students to purchase to fundraise money for our class budget, and we are also hard at work planning our proms, future events, and our graduations. And as always, don't forget to stop by the new Minuteman shop when you visit for a delicious meal or for any service provided by our salon. It is a great spot to support student initiatives and school spirit. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Ellen.
Moving on to Andrew's report.
Right, so for the fire department substation, the fire department substation committee has accepted GC bids for the fire station project. The lowest and most advantageous bid for the project was submitted by Tower Construction of Cranston, Rhode Island. The total construction bid came at $12.6 billion, which is significantly lower than projected earlier in the project development. We're in the process of executing contracts with the contractor and looking at a potential groundbreaking in about 2 months.
That's a huge coup for the team, so very well done.
Thanks. Our permitting guide. So over the past year, we've been working with CMRPC to redesign and update our permitting guide for businesses looking to start here in Charlton. CMRPC has provided us with a final copy of that guide, and a copy of the guide is posted on the EDC page of the website. We just put it on social media today, so check it out. And Charlton Business Alliance will be holding a business expo for Charlton and area businesses at Baypath on Thursday, May 8th, developed in conjunction with the Charlton Economic Development Commission. Sign-ups for the businesses will be going out soon, and we're hoping for a great turnout from the community. So,
Nice.
thanks, guys.
Very good.
Great, thank you. Any other business that was unknown at the time of posting?
Mr. Chairman, not so much business, but just as a reminder, Mary was kind enough to send us out a note. I think we're posted in case quorum wants to go to the school committee meeting tomorrow, which we'll be discussing, or I should say, they'll be discussing the
Who's
budget.
interested? Do we have a quorum going, or?
I'm going.
If I get out of work,
I
I'll
think
try to
we
have it.
already got the preliminary numbers from Andrews.
Well, that'll be officially released as public information
Yeah.
tomorrow.
Those numbers are always just
We
make
should
me-
probably wait till
those-
tomorrow,
Those
though.
numbers always make me scratch my head, that's all I'm gonna say at that point.
So, yeah, so anyway, just as a reminder for the people, probably more than anything,
There you go.
that the school committee is presenting their prelim budget tomorrow in case anybody wants to go. And by school committee, Dudley Charlton
So
Regional.
we'll have
School.
two anyway, if we have a third, then we.
It's
will-
posted, so.
It's posted anyway.
It's posted,
Mary took care of it. Thanks, Mary.
all right.
All right, any other business?
Good
Hearing none. We have our next meeting announcement, special town meeting, February 18th at 7 PM, Charlton Middle School. And the next regularly scheduled board meeting is February 25th at 6:30 here at Meeting Room 1.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Motion to adjourn.
Motion and second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye. Thank you, Pete.